Hello from Hurricane Central.
Hey, John.
Hey, man. You're lucky you didn't come down here for Naro because it's about to hit us, or actually not direct hit, but we're in Orlando for this Naro conference.
You're going to get a lot of rain tomorrow afternoon and Friday.
Yeah.
Have you been able to get a flight out?
Well, my flight's not, I'm here. I'm already here. So my flight is out home, scheduled for Sunday, but I don't know. I think everything's going to get pushed back.
Yeah, I mean, they're evacuating half of the damn state.
Yeah, and it's weird. There's no rhyme or reason. We have friends that are in St. Pete, and they're like, yeah, we're getting evacuated. And I'm like, why? So I thought it was going to hit Tallahassee. So
yeah, I'm not that far. I was just looking at the maps. I've been getting alerts all day because I'm not that far from St. Pete's, and they're evacuating the whole coast. But the latest track is showing it's going to hit the Big Bend area up north.
Oh, okay. So we'll just but I guess they said that with this size of the storm, it's actually worse when you're on the side of it than in the front of it.
Right? And that's what's happening. The way it's spinning, the whole west coast of Florida is going to get inundated with rain.
Jesus
they're talking 12 to 15 inches.
Wow. And all the local reports down here, that I saw the mayor in Tallahassee, and he's like, we haven't had a storm in like 60 years like this. I said, Jesus Christmas. That's not good.
You know, it's going to be pretty bad.
Anyway, I will go over the affirmative fair action plan, and that's more of an FYI. They don't need to take an action on that. And then I'll talk about the FMRs that just came out, literally just came out. And all you're doing is adopting them. You know, you're already going to be using the 110%, and they are what they are. But I'll talk about how they'll help people get their vouchers in place a lot faster.
I brought up the fair market documentation system, and I went to Union County. It brings up the greater Newark area.
Yeah, I sent you, if you look at the one attachment I sent you, it's in a Word document. It's kind of like sideways because I'm mobile, so I kind of tried to send it to you in advance. But that gives you the FMRs. It actually gives you, it went up about just under $200 by bedroom size, roughly. And with your 110% amounts, I can give you the, if you got a second here, I can give you the actual amounts so you can say what the amounts are.
I'm going to admit everybody in. There's a bunch of people.
Oh, yeah. Okay. No worries. Yep.
Still waiting for a few people. So, hi, Gary. Hi, Joe. John is on. Sherry's on. So we're still waiting for a few more. Infante is going to be calling in. And hopefully we'll get one more commissioner and we should be good.
Great.
Monitoring the waiting room. Here comes somebody. Phone number 908, ending in 9119. Would you like to identify yourself? I guess not.
Yes, this is Matlos.
Oh, Peter.
Yes.
All right, that's good. We got 3 commissioners, so we need one more. Hey, Joe, I tried to get back to you. I got another call. I've been on the phone with HUD all day today. They wanted to finalize the report. And for whatever reason, the dates that they had on the appointments of each of the commissioners was pretty screwed up. That was holding up the final report.
No, I sent you everything.
I know.
Okay.
So what I did is I took that,
Okay.
I updated it. Oh, here comes two more people. I think that's Joe that just entered the room.
I'm here, guys.
That
Joe,
is Joe. All right, good. We got a quorum.
what's the story? Joe, we got a quorum?
Yep, we just got it with you coming in. We got a quorum.
You have a member of the
Okay.
public present.
So before I turn on the recording device, let me just,
It's recording, Jerry. It's already recording.
oh, it is?
Yes,
All right, good. So,
we have a quorum.
all right, let me call the roll and we'll get the meeting started. Mr. Chairman, I'm going to take control of the meeting with your permission.
Yes, go ahead, Jerry.
Everyone would please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Schools, she'd been banks.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Justice for all.
Cool.
Thank you, Commissioner Mendoza, for having the American flag behind you. I'm going to keep monitoring the waiting room. If you see anybody pop in and I miss it, please alert me and I will let them in.
The teacher's
Commissioner Fonte,
timing of banks
I'm calling the roll.
isn't.
Here.
Vice Chair Humphrey,
Here,
Commissioner Baycott. I do not see her. Commissioner Matlos,
Here,
Commissioner Orlean, I do not see her either. Commissioner Manusa,
Here.
and we have a vacancy on the board, so obviously we have a quorum. This meeting is being conducted via Zoom. Appropriate notice has been made. The monthly meeting of the City of Linden Housing Authority Board of Commissioners is being held today, September 25th, 2024, via Zoom. In accordance with the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-6 et sec, as amended from time to time, adequate notice of this meeting was published in the annual notice of 2024 meetings for the Linden Housing Authority, published in the Star Ledger newspaper and also at www.nj.com, delivered to the City of Linden and posted at the Housing Authority of Linden's website and posted at our offices. Time may be allocated for public comment at this meeting. Each speaker may be allotted up to 3 minutes and one opportunity to address the board when recognized by me as the presiding officer. Individuals wishing to address the board shall first be recognized by the presiding officer and then shall give their names, addresses, and the group, if any, that you may represent. Although the board encourages public participation, it reserves the right through its presiding officer to terminate remarks to or by any individual that is not keeping with the conduct of a proper and efficient meeting. Except for those individuals whose names are on the agenda this evening, if any, the board will not respond to questions during the public participation portion of this meeting involving the employment, appointment, termination of employment, negotiations, terms and conditions of employment, evaluation or performance of, or promotion or disciplining of any specific, prospective, or or current employee. Having said that, we have several pieces of information, and I just, in talking to, there's actually more people in the waiting room. Let me let them in. We have Commissioner Baycott is joining us. We'll let the record reflect that Commissioner Baycott has just entered the meeting, and we'll continue along with our agenda. In the packet that you've received and you've been receiving from me, in the spirit of cooperation and transparency and compliance, you'll note that I provide the board with a tremendous amount of detailed information. Discussing it with counsel earlier today, he asked that I just highlight that a bit. And you'll note in the agenda packets that are distributed to the commissioners, I provide you with comprehensive information. Not only do I submit the bills list, but you get a chronological listing. You actually get the check registers. So you're looking at, in the disbursements in the monthly report, the actual chronological sequential check register, as opposed to simply a listing of bills. In addition to that, I provide you with all bank balances as of the end of each month. And in this month's packet, you'll have the July and the August financial data, which we're going to be asking you to adopt resolutions on. So on the agenda tonight, we have a handful of items. The first item is the approval of the meeting minutes of both July 17th and July 26th of 2024. They've been distributed as prepared by council. And at this time, I would ask for a motion to accept both minutes of July 17th and July 26th. Do we have a motion to that effect?
Motion.
Motion by Chairman Infante. Is there a second?
Second, Matlos.
And there's a second by Commissioner Matlos. Is there any discussion on the minutes? Hearing none, I would ask for a roll call. Chairman Infante,
Yes.
Vice Chair Humphrey,
Yes.
Commissioner Baycott,
Here.
are you voting in the affirmative?
Yes, yes.
Yes, thank you. Commissioner Manuzza,
Yes.
Commissioner Matlos.
Yes.
Let the record reflect a unanimous vote, and the minutes are adopted as presented. The next motion that I would ask for is a motion to approve and authorize the payments of bills. Resolution 2024-09-25-2. I've made a correction on the top of the actual resolution. You have the bills list. I'd ask for a motion to approve the bills as submitted.
Motion.
Motion by Chairman Infante,
Second.
second by Vice Chair Humphrey. Any discussion on the bills? Hearing none, I'll ask for a roll call. Chairman Infante,
Yes.
Vice Chair Humphrey,
Yes.
Commissioner Baycott,
Yes.
Commissioner Manuzza,
Yes.
Commissioner Metlos.
Yes.
Motion carries, unanimous vote. The next resolution is to accept the Secretary Treasurer's reports, which is what I was just talking about, and the maintenance reports for the period since our last meeting. I'd ask for a motion to accept those reports.
Motion to accept the reports.
Motion by Vice Chair Humphrey. Is there a second?
Matlos, second.
Second by Commissioner Matlos. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call. Chairman Infante,
Yes.
Vice Chair Humphrey,
Yes.
Commissioner Baycott,
Yes.
Commissioner Manuzza,
Yes.
Commissioner Matlos.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries. Next, I added the late starter, which I neglected to submit earlier, and it was in the distribution earlier today. You did present the budget, and we accepted the in a prior meeting to submit it to the state. Tonight, we need to adopt the budget. We've gotten the green light from the state. Nothing has changed. We have the 2025 adopted budget resolution, which is in the format that the state has sent us. It's resolution 2024-09-25-4. And I would ask for a motion to adopt the budget as was presented. Can we get a motion to that effect?
Motion.
Motion by Chairman Infante. Is there a second? Oh, Commissioner Orlean is in the waiting room. We let her in. Letting in Commissioner Orlean. Let the record reflect Commissioner Orlean has just arrived. We have a motion on the floor by Chairman Infante to adopt the budget as previously presented. Is there a second to that motion? I get a
Matlow
s-
second.
Okay, second by Commissioner Matlos. Any discussion on the budget? This is on the adoption of the budget. Hearing none, roll call. Chairman Infante,
Yes.
Vice Chair Humphrey,
Yes.
Commissioner Manuzza. Commissioner Manuzza,
Yes.
Commissioner Matlos,
Yes.
Commissioner Orlean. Commissioner Orlean, voting on the budget, you're muted.
I was muted. I'm sorry. I said
Okay.
yes.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Baycott,
Yes.
motion carries. Thank you. We also have the fair, I distributed earlier, about an hour ago, the fair market rent. That's an FYI. It's actually going to be adopted by the Mungill Board. But we have with us our consultant, John Clark from Sunbelt. John, if you would unmute yourself and just give an overview of where we are with that and the fair market rent that was just released today by HUD, which we'd like to get adopted tonight so we could get that in motion for October 1st. Which is an increase in the rental numbers. John, if you could give a brief overview, I'd appreciate it.
Sure. Hi, can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Great. Hi, everybody. Good evening. So the affirmative fair marketing plan is required by HUD to be updated about every 5 years. It outlines and details the activities and actions that Mongill, and through its tenant selection plan, will assure that information is distributed fair and equitably throughout all classes in all areas. And it's a plan that essentially still has to have HUD's approval. So what you're seeing is a draft. That draft will be sent to the HUD Newark office, to their fair housing division, and it will they'll make some comments. There'll be a final version that then goes in front of the Mongill board for action. But we're in that 5-year bubble, and we're required to take action on that. Separate and apart from that plan, HUD requires housing authorities annually to follow their fair market rent distributions. Around this time every year, HUD issues fair market rents for the country, and they base it on regions and areas where they have voucher programs. And HUD literally just released it. It is an increase to the FMRs for the area that Linden and Roselle Park operate in. So what we're asking the board tonight to do is to adopt the fair market rents from HUD. They are non-negotiable, essentially. HUD issues them for Union County, and Union County is what you fall underneath.
I'm sharing the screen, John, just so you know.
Yep. And just so everyone understands that the fair market rents are a directive from HUD. Linden Housing Authority has determined that they're going to issue those rents and maintain them at the 110% level, which gives users of those vouchers a little more flexibility in the ability to use those vouchers to rent units. So the numbers that you see in front of you, Jerry, you're showing the number that I sent you, which is the FMR.
I'm showing the actual fair market value.
Okay. So the rents will actually be 110% of those. So if you take those numbers for 2025 and just add about a 10% on top of that, that's roughly what the cap will be on the value of the voucher.
And you'll note that that's substantially below what we really know the real market value is.
Yes, correct. So this is not a market study. HUD essentially does a formula-driven analytic distribution of these. So we all know that rents are higher than those. And that's one of the reasons why your authority has chosen to go at the 110% level. Housing authorities can go between 90 and 110% of the FMR. And Linden, obviously, in the last few years has used that 110 mark, and I suggest they continue to use that. And that's all I had on that. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Is there any questions on that? Council, you want to add any comments, Joe?
It's just if the board is satisfied, it would be helpful to adopt it this evening because as Mr. Clark said, it allows the housing authority to pay a higher rent standard, which will assist our Section 8 clients to find housing in the community because part of the issues that we face in a increasing rental market is that it's challenging for our residents to find housing. So this will facilitate the mission of the housing authority if the board is satisfied and adopts those HUD FMRs.
So I would ask for a motion to adopt those FMRs, based
Hold
upon.
it. Chair.
Excuse me? Yeah.
Just a question. For maybe Joe, the attorney, and John too. So we're gonna be able to collect and pay the landlords more rent with the 110% formula? Is that what we're talking here?
Yeah, yes, for vouchers issued now, the rental amounts will be able to go up to the 110% amount for vouchers issued now.
Okay. Now, is that the maximum, or can we go 120, or just 110 is the maximum, John?
No, that's the maximum. Yeah, you can't go to 120 without HUD's approval, and quite frankly, HUD is not giving those approvals now because of the budget challenges they're in right now.
Okay. So 110, we don't need their approval. We just, because I know I discussed it with Joe and Jerry, 120. I thought we were going to go to, but 110, we don't need the approval.
Correct. You can go up to 110. You're good. 110
And
without
then,
HUD's approval.
okay. And then my question is, they've always had that 110. We could always have went over the amount, John?
No, they used to be 90% to 100, and then they increased it to 110. And during COVID, they allowed you to go to 120 depending on the areas and locations.
Okay. Based on it was harder for the tenants to find a place. I know, I've worked with a couple people from the city to help a couple of residents, but that's the whole thinking behind that. That since
Yes,
COVID.
correct.
And then from you going over all our paperwork, we never, as an agency, even went to the 110%, let alone the 120.
No, you did not. You were actually somewhere between the 90 and 100 percentile for your program, which made
Okay,
it very
so-
difficult for people to find units.
Right. So that's what I'm getting. And then how many vouchers do we have? Was it 308? Is it?
You have 305 vouchers in service, and you can go up to 362.
So we're leaving money on a table over the years because A, we didn't lease up all our vouchers, we didn't use them, and B, we never went over the 90 to 100% that we could have.
Correct. You only get paid administrative fees for the vouchers you have in service. So if you had 280 vouchers, you would get paid for 280. If you had 300, you get paid for 300. You have 360, you get paid for 360.
Okay. So then does HUD ever look at that and say, hey, you're not ever even meeting the vouchers that we gave you? They take vouchers back?
They don't take vouchers back, but they do sweep money annually from your account, from your reserve account, if you're not maximizing the program. So every year,
Penalized.
yeah, every year you get penalized.
Okay. So have we ever, I mean, I know you're looking at everything. Have you ever seen us, was there any time we maximized the program that you know of?
Not in the last 4 to 5 years that I looked at, no.
Okay. All right. Thanks, guys.
So what we're doing here is we'd like to implement this, obviously, because it's going to be better for everybody all the way around. So we call this resolution 2024-09-25-5.
I got a question, Chair.
Yep, go ahead.
Is any of that non-leasing up all the vouchers related to, like, why would we not do that? Is there, like, is that the building next door? Are we not using them there? Like, what's the scenario with that?
Well, that's a great question. And I mean, John can answer it, I can answer it, but what we're trying to do now as a result of bringing in AMA on the Section 8, that was the top priority at all of our kickoff meetings. We want to actually over-lease at this point because there's been such a deficit there. And the objective is we're going to have a meeting with the landlords next week. It's called Lunch with Jerry. To go over an aggressive plan on getting more landlord involvement. We already found a handful of landlords that have multiple units with multiple vacancies that are very interested in obtaining more vouchers. So we're going to start marketing that to increase it. Is that what you're asking me, Gary?
Well, that I guess the question is, like, why don't, like, to echo what Joe said, why don't we ask them for 120? If we're demonstrating that over 4 years, we can't fill them up. Obviously, then we're not paying enough for the people to get places to live.
One of the first things I did when I arrived is shot that memo off asking for an increase to go up to 120, and we need to do it again. And I'll concur with that. It'll probably be denied.
What's the harm?
We'll
If they
ask-
deny us, at least we asked.
Worst
Right,
thing
as
that can
John
happen is
said-
they say no.
Yeah, they may deny it, and the hardship, it's a good point. Everybody's having it because
I mean,
the
it's the
rents
same
are.
thing as I don't mean to interrupt you, but I've been on this planet for 42 years. I've never heard of a governmental organization, period, say they have plenty of money to spend around. There's budget hardships since I've been born. So let's ask.
Agreed. We will. Any other questions before we ask for a motion? All right, hearing none, the resolution would be 2024-09-25-5. Council can draft the resolution.
Yes.
And phrase it right now, if you'd like, Joe.
So John, this will be to adopt the most recently issued HUD fair market rents for the Housing Choice Voucher Program for our vicinage.
Yeah, correct. And Joe, you could add on there and directing the executive director and consultant to submit requests for HUD to go to the 120. That can be part of that resolution.
Got it.
All right, do we have a motion to that effect?
Motion.
There's a motion by Infante. Is there a second? Commissioner Manuzza, how about you, being that you want us to go to 20?
I'll second it. Let's ask them for
Thank you.
30. Let them deny you. What's the big
Yep,
deal?
no, I agree. Seconded by Commissioner Manuzza. Okay, roll call. Chairman Infante,
Yes.
Vice Chair Humphrey.
Yes.
Will you repeat that, please?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Manuzza,
Yes.
Commissioner Matloss,
Yes.
Commissioner Orlean. Commissioner Orlean, you're muted. Commissioner Orlean, please unmute yourself and vote. We'll come back to our Commissioner Orlean. Commissioner Baycott.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, there's Commissioner Orlean. How
Yes.
about Commissioner Baycott?
Yes.
Yes. Motion is unanimous. Thank you, Commissioners. Additional information as an FYI, in order to enhance and make more readily available for our residents and seniors, we are requesting from the appropriate authorities authorization for not this election, but for the next cycle to see if we can get voting machines brought back to the housing authority to accommodate the handicapped, the seniors, and others. My understanding is that they have multiple machines at the school, and this might also be of assistance so that you don't have the big crowds at the school as well. That is in process. Chairman Infante can address that if he'd like to at this meeting or at a future meeting. That's just an FYI. We've had a handful of reasonable accommodation requests. Most recently, one came in today. The paperwork is in order and there's doctor's notes and support documentation. We're granting them in the normal course of business. A change that is coming with interest income. I'll be meeting next week with our fee accountant and our consultant to go over. We had a recent PIH notice from HUD. They're now going to recapture is the wrong word. They're now going to take, we're obligated to give them any interest income earned on some of the funds that we're collecting from HUD for becoming their banker, I guess. And they're looking for ways to offset their budget as well. So you'll get more on that at a future meeting. That's just an FYI. I've been working closely with our team. My report is brief this month. I pretty much verbalized it, but there's been a significant amount of on-site work being done, elevator modernization, I'm happy to report, I know a couple commissioners have called me on some of the other buildings, what's going on with the elevators. We have the parts finally came in and we were able to get the one building up and running. And we've also had the DCA come in and do some inspections. They're ongoing and they're continuing, and we're continuing to gear up for the inspections at the LHA. We have had both inspections at Mungill and LHC have been completed. We came through in excellent condition on them. I spoke earlier today with the Newark office of HUD on several different matters. And they're, very happy with where we are at this point, and that's just an FYI. Council, do you want to add anything to my report at this point?
No, that was very thorough, Director.
Thank you. Do we have any matters for closed session, Council?
We do not this evening.
Okay. And John, do you have anything you would like to add?
No, I'm good. Good report. If anyone has any questions, you can always reach me or get me through Jerry.
Very good.
I would like to
Thank-
say something if you guys don't mind.
Go ahead. Well, I was just going to ask for commissioners' comments. Go ahead,
Okay, I don't-
Commissioner.
Does
You're
anybody
up.
mind me going first?
Go ahead.
Okay, yes, you brought up the issue of voter, and I think it's like we have to have empathy for our elderly and disabled residents. There are many residents that really, they are on oxygen tank, they're walking, and they are on wheelchairs, and I think voting is something that many Americans have died for. And I think that, we need to take care of our elderly, and to tell them that they have to cross the street to walk and go and vote. Many of them are saying they can't because it's just not, they just can't do it. And other towns I know of, they, in all of their housing units, every single one of them, they have a voting machine.
Yeah, I'm an advocate
So,
for what you're suggesting.
Not only
Commissioner.
in one, they have it in they have it in, I'm just telling you, how some towns have made sure it's in all of their housing units. So at least we need one. I know my mother is going to be 90 years old at the next in December. I mean, it's very difficult for her to go across the street, and she doesn't trust vote by mail.
I'm working closely with our chairman and our attorney, and we're going to contact the appropriate authorities. I know the chairman has already reached out, and we're going to do whatever we can do to see if we can accommodate and get the Board of Elections and the appropriate election officials to the
I think
county
Linden
and-
is the only town that doesn't have voting machines in their housing unit. I know from this last election, for congressional election, all the towns in Newark, a lot of those towns for their senior building all have machines.
We will work diligently to make it happen.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any other commissioners that would like to comment?
And Jer, I'll just add to that for Danny, that I did speak with the county and I did speak with the city clerk, Joe Bodek, on the issue. And I was waiting for the meeting. And I believe I spoke to Commissioner Arlene to say, hey, I'll update everybody at the meeting. She was one of the people that have concerns. Other commissioners got concerns also that they were contacted by some residents saying, hey, even though it's only across the street, it's still too far. As you know, we used to have the machines in the building, and then the prior executive director decided she did not want them in the building anymore, and she had them taken out. At one point, the city clerk had asked me on the other boards, hey, can we put them back in? But Ann refused. Now we have a request for it again. So I did speak with Joe Bodek. It's too late for this year because obviously the election's coming up. But right after the election in January, there's a meeting from the election board and the clerks, and they're going to have a meeting. So we're going to get a letter into them before that. Joe Manfredi, our attorney, is going to assist us in writing it. And we're going to request that the machine for our ward and our district for our people there be brought back into our building. So that looks like it's going to go forward from talking to Joe Bodek. He said he doesn't think there'd be a problem, but we're going to address it to the election board director, Nicole Dorado, and also Joe Bodek will copy him on it. I spoke to him. In addition to that, because I know some commissioners said, hey, to bring some services back and some awareness to the residents, whether they're seniors and or disabled. And when I spoke to Joe Bodek and a couple of the county people, the county has programs for seniors now. I don't know how many saw it on social media, where different organizations from the county will come in and talk to our seniors. So I told them that we're open to have them come in anytime they want. They could come in each building. I know they can't do LHC right now, but they could come into 1601, they could come into JTG, or they can just come into one, and we'll try to get all our residents in one if they don't have the time. But that'll be for safety. The prosecutor's offices will come in and talk to the seniors. Also, the surrogate, he'll come in and talk to the seniors and or disabled. And there's other programs too that they said they'll bring in, safety and questions for if it's need for different aspects of their life. So that's coming up also. But just to let the commissioners know, you'll start to see more services for the seniors. And I already spoke to Jerry about this, and Jerry's all on board. I don't know how many people he told, or maybe he said it today. Jerry, did you tell him your new program that you started?
I'm about to tell them. I have not.
Okay, I'm not going to steal Jerry's thunder, but
You
go
can
ahead.
take my thunder. Go ahead, take it.
No, go ahead, Jerry.
Okay, so we've also expanded, bringing in various other entities. We are implementing a coffee with Jerry session at each building. Actually, we had 2 of the buildings because there's no meeting room at LHC. And we're going to meet monthly. There'll be an hour session, half-hour session with the residents to address any and all concerns, questions. The residents know I have an open door policy. Even though I'm a part-timer, I'm there every day, and sometimes on the weekends. And it's not unusual for me to meet with residents 6:37 in the morning. Not unusual to meet with them on a Sunday, on a Saturday. And we're going to try to formalize it to make it in the meeting rooms so that we'll have sponsors as well. We have the Linden Board of Health and the county have been coming in and providing health services monthly. We have vaccines taking place presently. Vaccinations are ongoing. They were in the office yesterday. Again, today there was, I meet with the residents lunchtime as well. And we're going to address those ongoing issues. By the way, the extermination is working out rather well. We had a handful of residents that have not allowed us in. Working closely with council, we sent out a lot of cease and desist orders. We've directed them that they cannot decline the service. And we've gone in and we've addressed the units for obviously bed bugs, roaches, rodents, vermin, etc. And I'm very happy to report that we seem to get very good feedback from the residents that we've addressed that significantly from where it was just a few short months ago. Again, we're going to be implementing multiple programs. We have several sponsors that are willing to come in and sponsor various programs for the residents. And we're going to start implementing that in the next couple of months. There's just been a lot of things going on, particularly the various reviews from the DCA, from the HUD, from the HMFA, and others. I've been working with John Clark from Sunbelt, with Joe Manfredi and his excellent team of attorneys. And we've got a lot of things done in the last several months. I can't go into detail tonight, but at next month's meeting, we will have a very comprehensive closed session. I would encourage everyone to please keep your calendars clear for that evening, because we have several personnel issues and other matters which will be discussed. And it's imperative that we get input from the commissioners and hopefully action to move forward. And that's what I have. Council, it looks like you want to say something?
No, just remember public comment before we adjourn this evening.
I'm going to that next. At this point, I would ask for a motion to go into the public session. Can I get a motion to go into public session?
Motion.
Motion by Infante. Is there a second?
Second,
Who was that?
Benutza.
That was Gary. Thank you. I wasn't looking. My apologies. Second Manuzza. All in favor of going to public session?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
All right, for the reminder for the public, you're limited to a 3-minute session, which can be extended. We'd ask that you state your name and organization that you represent, if any, and we'll enter, and I'll ask at this point if there's anybody from the public who wishes to be heard. Is there anyone from the public who wishes to be heard? Lenny, it looks like you're muted. Lenny, are you muted? Looks like you are.
Okay.
There you go. Did
Okay,
you want to
you hear
say
me?
something?
Yes, I got to do my full name. I would do this.
Please.
Okay, Lenny Taylor. I live at 1601 Dill Avenue, Linden, New Jersey, apartment 614.
Go ahead. You may speak, Lenny.
Okay, I have the concern back in the last Easter, 11 o'clock at night. The drain, the Easter of this year, the drain in the bathroom backed up, right? And at 11 o'clock, when I went downstairs, I knocked on the door, nobody answered, and I was told that the phone was out of service. I ran to the building in the middle, right? The security guard was over there. He couldn't help me at that time. So we want to know what if somebody drain is backing up. When we jumped out of our bed, me and Miss Cyrus is head of household. Miss Cyrus, she's the head of household of this apartment. She jumped out her bed. I jumped my bed because this water's coming up the drain in the bathroom, right? And we couldn't get in touch with nobody.
That's a problem, and I will address it tomorrow morning. We have there's a designated maintenance person on staff in the evening hours, and they're supposed to answer and address any emergent issues such as a drain backing up. I will address it tomorrow morning, and I'll take it up with our director of maintenance.
Okay, well,
Hi, Jerry. This is Miss Cyrus. I'm sure Madam Cyrus. I just wanted to let you know too, with that situation, it's not the first time it happened. And as for what can be done about the tenants reporting situations like that, because we was told by the maintenance worker, she had like a full tub, a full sink, and it's like that, and it's just you kept showering in it and nothing's being done. And then we're the ones getting all the nastiness that comes from there. I'm not well, and I shouldn't have to be cleaning up other people's shit. Excuse my French. You know, this is ridiculous. It's not the first time. Something has to be done about this. I don't know if you need to pass a note around or something, but it cannot happen again.
All right, and which building you're in Ferguson Towers?
614 and Ferguson, Dill.
Okay, I will address it in the morning. I'll talk to Supervisor of Maintenance Ray Hawk, and I'll find out why our resident maintenance person after hours is not responding.
Yeah, because he knocked on the door, and then when he came, we told him, he's like, well, why didn't you knock? We said, we came there, you didn't answer the door. You know, I don't know what you're here for. Like, you're not responding. It doesn't make sense.
I will take care of it tomorrow. And anytime there's any issues with this, if they don't respond, please, the next morning, stop at the office and let the front office know your name, the apartment, and get a note to me, and it will be addressed immediately.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
okay.
Thanks, Lenny. Is there anything else?
Yes, yeah. Okay, the concern about the trash room. I don't know what, it only takes a second. Well, I know the tenants, right? They probably bring in garbage that leaks. So the trash room floor is nasty. The trash room, the floor is in the trash room.
The floor is up on each floor?
No, our floor. I don't know about the floor. I'm talking 6th floor, our floor.
Which floor are you on?
614, 6. So it only takes a second.
I'll address it tomorrow.
Okay. Oh yeah, one more in the laundry room. Same thing, the garbage running over. The garbage in the laundry room. I got pictures. It only takes you 5 minutes. I suggested, I said, give me some garbage bags, right? Give me some garbage bags, right? Because I'm free. And when I see it flow running over, I empty it. It's not no big deal, but it's a big thing. Garbage shouldn't be piled up like that.
Totally agree with you, and I'll take
in the laundry room.
I will address these issues in the same comment. if there are any concerns, stop at the office, leave a note, mark it for my attention, and I will address it immediately.
And one last
Okay.
thing.
Thank
What
you.
you doing? The
Upstairs,
lady,
one last thing,
what's
yeah.
that, 714?
Yeah.
What we need to do with the noise complaint with the that's 714.
I have no.
You said we got to put it in writing?
Yes, I need
Noise
something in writing. If you give it
For
to me in
7
writing, and we have to verify it, investigate it, and if we find that there is noise, we can send out appropriate notice to whatever tenant is creating the problem.
Okay.
Because all I'm doing is making it better. That's one of my goals. And that
Understood.
security door keep being unlocked, off and on. Nobody cares, but
This is where we
Yeah,
live.
I
And while,
troubleshoot.
while I appreciate your comments,
Yeah,
and
I
I know that
troubleshoot.
you're very involved, I will
Yes,
tell
yes.
you, and I will tell
Yes.
you that my office is available.
Oh.
If I'm not there, leave a note with your
Okay.
name and your number, and I will get back to you, and I will address it. You know, you got my email. You've been sending me emails every day, so I get your
Okay.
emails.
Okay,
And I
yeah,
will address it.
but I'm just make it better for everybody. I don't care what they're not doing. you know?
Understood,
Okay,
understood.
yeah, make it better, yeah. All
Thank
right,
you, Lenny.
All right,
okay,
thank
all right.
you. Thank
All
you.
right, is
Okay.
there anyone else from the public who wishes
Okay.
to be heard?
I'll close it out. They don't even come.
Is there anyone else who wishes to be heard? Third and final call. Is there anyone else from the public that wishes to be heard? Hearing none, I would ask a motion to to go back to regular order. Close the public session and go back to regular order.
Motion.
Motion by Infante. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Manusa. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Is there anything further to come before this body? Hearing none, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion by Infante. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Manuzza. All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Thank you. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone, for your attention tonight. We didn't set a record, but it was only 43 minutes long. So thank you again.
It's pretty
And I look-
close, Jer.
And I look forward to our next meeting. I will try to get an agenda packet out much earlier, particularly because there are some personnel issues that are paramount that need to be addressed. Thank you, everyone. Have a safe night, and I look forward to working with you in the future. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Night.